Studies based on obesity. The main consequence of unhealthy food consumption is obesity. Being overweight at any point increase risk of death and impact the quality and system of healthcare in our country. According to new analysis published in the medical journal that is the Lancet, about 1 in 5 that globally associate with an unhealthy diet. Therefore, by increasing the price of food products that contain high content of sugar and fat, tax can get people consume less of them. As a result, people tend to eat more from natural resource because it is cheaper as well in enhance nutrient in our body. My second argument is the most unhealthy food tax directly or indirectly raise revenue from the government. Now is this point and my previous point are correlated. When you impose on unhealthy food, the food become expensive and unaffordable to people to buy. Thus, people tend to switch their mind or find other alternatives. When people change their behavior to switching to healthier substitute, the healthcare costs and the death rate due to deadly disease will decrease in our country. It will also allow the government to put the resulting revenue gained from unhealthy food tax to good use, such as spending on healthcare facilities. It will help people living below the poverty line by helping them to make a livelihood. For instance, develop infrastructure such as school, public toilet, houses, or they could even support the education fees or provide scholarship to the student who live in impoverished environmental condition. That's the pro case for unhealthy food tax, and it's a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Firdaus, for those wonderful insights regarding unhealthy food tax. So to conclude what Mr. Firdaus has said, a tax on unhealthy food would encourage people to choose healthier food, which lead to improved health, reduce diseases such as raised revenue for the government. With that being said, I am honored to introduce to you a spectacular and dedicated speaker, Madam Alia, to share her thoughts regarding unhealthy food tax.
Thank you, Moderator. Well, Mr. Firdaus has explained his stance very well. However, I do contradictory views upon your statement, Mr. Firdaus. I strongly believe that tax should not be imposed on unhealthy foods. Previously, Mr. Firdaus said that eating unhealthy food could lead to obesity problems, right? As a head coach who has trained multiple customers with obesity problems and other health issues, I totally disagree that obesity is the main cause of consuming unhealthy foods. Basically, unhealthy food is not entirely the cause of obesity. There are other various factors behind obesity. People often misunderstood that obesity results from the energy imbalance that occurs when a person consumes more calories than their body burns. For instance, the size of portion, level of exercise, genetic factors, behavior, environment, and also sleep patterns may have an effect in causing people to be overweight and obese. Besides, obesity is also associated with hypertension, higher blood pressure levels, and a greater use and multiple antihypertensive medications. Recently, I have encountered some of my obese customers in my fitness center who are actually struggling with glandular issue or simply not be able to lose weight as rapidly as someone else can. Therefore, Mr. Firdaus, I think that you should not directly come to a conclusion where consumption of unhealthy food is the main cause of disease. Furthermore, instead of imposing taxes on unhealthy food, is the best educate and let the people know the importance of eating moderation and practice regular physical activity. The use of tax to promote awareness of the importance of good health certainly does not ensure that you will lead a healthy lifestyle. A healthy individual needs a balanced diet as well as free from bodily and mental disease, which means they are supposed to exercise regularly to maintain optimum body weight, reduce disease, and strengthen bones and muscle. Now, let me ask the questions. What is the point of us actually eating healthy food without exercising regularly? Your body is going to be unhealthy in any way, and at the same time you are paying tax for unhealthy food. It does not make any sense at all for me. Categorizing and labeling particular foods as good or bad isn't that all that helpful? It could only be triggered some people who have or had eating disorder, which brings shame and guilt and resulting in a bad relationship with food. Therefore, it is perfectly fine to consume unhealthy food as long as we eat in moderation and practice exercises. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Alia. To summarize Madam Alia's point of view, instead of imposing tax on unhealthy food, it is best to educate the people in our country to follow a balanced diet, encourage them to eat in moderation, and have a proper exercise. That was very useful tips. Thank you once again, Madam. Next up, we have Dr. Lai. Dr. Lai, do you agree that we should impose tax towards unhealthy food?
Thank you, Ms. Shaleni. In my opinion, taxes should be imposed on unhealthy food. As a physician, I strongly support this idea because over time, purchasing an excessive intake of unhealthy food increases the risk of obesity among Malaysians. Well, I do understand the statement given by Madam Alia previously, where food taxes should be prohibited because obesity is not solely caused by consumption of unhealthy food, but also due to other factors as well. However, a keen look into World Health Organization (WHO) statistics, Malaysia has recorded as one of the fattest countries in Asia. Nearly half of adults are overweight or obese, and children are increasingly affected. In year 2006, 7.7% of Malaysians 5 to 19 years old were obese. A decade later, it had risen to an alarming 12.7%. Besides, more than 1 in 3 Malaysian students consume at least 1 can of soft drink a day, according to the National Health and Mobility Survey 2017. Aren't these figures overwhelming us? Obesity undermines the physical, social, and psychological development of people, especially children. Madam Alia has mentioned that obesity occurs as a result of poor sleeping patterns, hypertension, and high blood pressure. I think you are mistaken, madam. The truth is the is the other way around. Obese people are more likely to be diagnosed with non-communicable diseases such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, asthma, cardiovascular problems, breathing, and sleeping disorders. They have shorter lifespans and report lower quality of life, on average, than people of healthier weight. Besides that, obese adults have high possibility of taking excessive absence from work, earn lower wages, and pursue lower income occupations. The reason is that overweight employees who are unable to work efficiently will drive down their output productivity. Therefore, the government should levy the unhealthy food tax to address the overweight problem in order to promote employees' productivity and drive the economic development of our country. Lastly, the rates of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem would also be higher due to the stigma against obesity in our country. They feel inferior and search to deal with judgmental society that body shame them. This develops a sense of insecurity regarding their own body. Thus, I would encourage unhealthy food tastes as it can reduce the number of people suffering from various effects of obesity. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lai, for stating your opinion on texting unhealthy food. So, according to Dr. Lai, obesity could lead us to more issues in our daily life other than just health problems such as depression, low self esteem, anxiety, and many more. So, last but not least, let us hear it from Miss Ella, the founder of Queen's Crispy Burger. Miss Ella, as an entrepreneur, what do you think about unhealthy food tax?
Thank you, Madam Shaleni. In my viewpoint, it will be a terrible idea to impose tax on unhealthy foods as it could be highly regressive. Firstly, we have to think about why our people prefer unhealthy food over healthy food in the first place. Obviously, it is because of the affordable and reasonable price. The price of the unhealthy food is much cheaper compared to the healthy food. Moreover, unhealthy foods are accessible everywhere. From rural areas to urban areas, people from various financial backgrounds are able to buy them. It is impossible to completely avoid consuming unhealthy food, and that is the reason why most Malaysians often consume unhealthy food in their daily life, even without consciously realizing it. Don't you think it is a burden to people to pay taxes for unhealthy food as well as afford expensive prices for healthy foods? Unhealthy food taxes should be highly prohibited because it affects the economy and social life of people. Statistics shows that most Malaysians who spend a high percentage of their income on unhealthy food are actually the people from the low incomes. In addition, people who are not overweight will also have to pay these taxes, and this could be a burden for people who live in destitute. This will also be unfair to the overall community, as our country has around 19.7% of obese people out of other countries. Therefore, as an entrepreneur, I would like to give a suggestion to curb this problem. If the government or the policymaker decide to tax unhealthy food, then they should also lower the price of healthy food in the first place, such as the price of vegetables, fruits, almond milk, vegan and vegetarian products, so that all of us could enjoy nutritious food and lead a healthy lifestyle. Moreover, we should not label or consider all kinds of fast food as unhealthy. This is totally a wrong concept. First, we need to know the true definition of the word unhealthy. Unhealthy is defined by someone who does not have a good health, something which is unfavorable to our body, sick, or ill. Even our second panel, Madam Alia has pointed out where a person not having a good health or being obese isn't solely based on eating unhealthy food. It could be due to other various factors besides eating unhealthy food. Thus, it is perfectly fine to have unhealthy food actually, because a balanced diet is a whole combination of all essential nutrients such as protein, fiber, vitamins, carbohydrate, and even fats, sugar, and salt. We do need sugar and fats for our body because it provides us energy to carry out our daily activities. So, how can we completely label them as unhealthy food? More or less, on what had been addressed by the second panel, these fast foods will only be considered as unhealthy for us if we overconsume them and we neglect to live a healthy lifestyle. In conclusion, it all depends on how an individual consumes any kind of food to stay healthy, and food taxes are a big no to lead a healthy lifestyle. So that's my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Ila, for the wise words regarding unhealthy food tax. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our webinar session. To conclude overall discussion about this food-based taxes, both panelists have said that there are equally pros and cons of implementing a tax on unhealthy food. First, unhealthy food taxes are basically ineffective and will hurt the poor. And apart from that, food taxes would also improve the health quality of people in our country. So the policymakers or the government must consider all the people from various financial background and all the consequences before implementing tax on unhealthy food. And by doing this, it will not only bring a change in the society's health, but also ease the burden of low income families to have food without a tool called tax. So remember, health motivated taxes might be progressive in health, but it is definitely regressive in income. So let us move on to Q&A session. So you can shoot your questions in the comment section below. So the first question is from Rifan. Taxing unhealthy food like sugary drinks makes them relatively more expensive, potentially encouraging people to buy more healthy alternatives. But how would this exhibit fairness towards healthy food when only taxes will be collected on unhealthy food? So for this, I would like Mr. Firdaus to explain this question.
Okay, I will explain this question. Okay, this is a good question. Well, for me, it's interesting question. Thank you, Rifan, for asking. In my opinion, our goal to increase the number of people who consume healthy food and bring awareness about the importance of prioritizing high nutrient dense food. Hence, when there is no tax collected on natural resources such as vegetable and nut, people would be considering this food choice better and affordable, especially who is not financially stable. That is my opinion. Thank you.
I see. Thank you so much, Mr. Firdaus, for answering her question. So let us move on to the next question. Next question is from our lecturer. Madam Nora asked, many people consume unhealthy food because it is more affordable compared to healthy food. So what can be done to overcome this? I would like Dr. Lai to explain the question. Thank you. Dr. Lai, you may answer the following question.
Yes. Okay, in my open opinion, they still manage to buy, but they will buy the unhealthy food like once a week, because of it not reason able to buy every day. So with that, we can decrease and obese among Malaysia people. Some healthy food like salad in restaurant, they still how to say, they still manage to buy, but they will buy the unhealthy food like once a week because of it not reasonable to buy every day. So with that, we can decrease the obese among Malaysian people.
Thank you, Dr. Lai, for the answer. There's another one more question from Madam Nora. Some healthy foods like salad in restaurant is rather expensive. If taxes are imposed on unhealthy food, which will cause it to be expensive, wouldn't the consumer would still buy unhealthy food? For this question, I would like Madam Alia to answer this question. Thank you.
In my opinion, price is the main... Clear or not? My voice? Okay. In my opinion, price is the main factors for people to buy unhealthy foods. My opinion is that the government should lower the price of healthy foods or make every sector aware of the importance of health. Is that clear?
Yes, Madam Alia. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to Nur Farhana's question. Okay, her question is about the main. Oh, wait. She said that I have a question about the main goal or purpose of imposing unhealthy food tax is to encouraging people to adopt a healthier diet and reduce obesity among people. So, in today's world, do you really think that we have achieved the purpose? I think for this question, Dr. Lai, I think you would be the eligible person to answer this question. So, would you like to answer this question, Dr. Lai?
Alright. According to different study we found on Google, unhealthy food has not achieved its desired design and not being a significant reduction in obesity rates. Two, it's not an effective way if we want to reduce the obesity rate. Hence, to achieve to give another real effective way, such as lower the price of healthy foods or give awareness on importance of health at every sector. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lai, for answering one more time for the question. Okay, let us move on to the next question in the chat box by Heli Sophia Juan. Okay, hi, good morning. I have a question. Based on your opinion, if the tax is about to be implemented on unhealthy food, who do you think it should be applied to? Whether the manufacturers or the consumers or both of them? So I think Miss Ila, you can could you please give your opinion on this, because you as an entrepreneur, I think you have a better answer for this question. Thank you.
Okay, I will give my opinion for this question. In my opinion, the unhealthy food tax should be applied only to the manufacturer if it is about to be implemented. This is to prevent the discrimination of low-income people, as most of them tend to buy the unhealthy foods due to its cheaper price. By applying the tax on the manufacturers, it will encourage them to find an alternative way to produce a more healthier product with the same old price range in order to maintain their number of consumers. Then, it will be a win-win situation for both sides, where the manufacturers will maintain their sales and the consumers will get a healthier food with cheaper price. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ila. Thank you, Miss Ila, for explaining your answer for that question. So with that, thank you. I think there is no more question in the comment section below. So with that, thank you so much for attending our webinar session today. I really hope that all of you have gained some valuable knowledge about unhealthy food taxes, as well as its pros and cons of food-based taxes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, group. You are group
Group
5,
five.
right? Yes, group 5, yes. Thank you very much for this webinar. Shaleni, one question for you.
Madam, sorry,
Yes.
madam, I could not hear your voice clearly, madam.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, madam.
Okay, all right. Can you please stop the recording?
Oh, sure.